So I'd like a volunteer, if I may, just to show something. Come on. Give a nice round of applause. Now you can do this quite happily with an overt trance or a covert one, doesn't really matter. Let's have a seat on here. You comfortable there?
Yeah.
Great. Did you enjoy the old trance experiences you had with other people?
Very much.
Yeah? So do you want to just go ahead and just sleep? There you go. All on your own. In your own time. Now whilst you do that, I'm just going to take this hand over here. I'm just going to separate it a little bit. There you go. Now as before, you had the experience of, being totally relaxed. The hand just would flop down to the thing. This time I want you to notice something very different can happen to that hand. It's a bit like when you're eating your dinner or something like that. You lift the hand up, and it happens automatically. You don't even know what's going on. It just does its own thing. There you go. You notice that? That's it. Very good. You notice that your whole body can relax more as a kind of a stiffness develops in that arm. There you go. That's it. That's it. Perfect. You're doing great. Look how quick you did that. There you go. There you go. Beautiful. In a moment, you'll notice that not only do you have this wonderful catalepsy here, which is going to teach you about hypnosis, but your unconscious is going to teach you something else. That's it. There you go. There you go. Just notice it happening. That's it. There you go. Isn't that a wonderful experience? And as that happens, a little bit more. There you go. You notice that with the lifting comes an uplifting sensation inside, because you're learning, really learning something about yourself, and something that you've wanted to know about for a long, long time. And let that process continue all the time you want. Because in a moment, you'll notice that hand have a tendency, actually, make it even easier. In a moment, you'll have a tendency for your eyes to want to open. The rest of your body, your eyes, your head, and your body will come out of trance, but that hand is going to be a little disobedient. And may want to keep doing its own thing. Or not. Let's find out. So whenever you're ready, you'll notice that your breathing returns to normal. Your eyes will flicker off by themselves, opening and feeling relaxed, comfortable, and pretty much alert. How are you doing?
Fine.
How's that hand doing?
Not moving.
It's not moving?
No.
Do you often keep your hand in this position?
No.
Are you in a trance right now?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's right. That hand definitely knows something, doesn't it? It must know something. That's it. Just look at that hand. No wonder what that something is. Beyond hypnosis. That's it. There you go. All the way. That's it. You did a great job. In a moment, I'd like you to return full natural motion to that hand. That's it. And you can return back to the outside world, feeling refreshed, relaxed. So that's simply fantastic, having learned something pretty spectacular. How are you doing?
Okay, fine.
Give you a nice round of applause. You mind staying here for a moment just to answer some questions? So first of all, that's catalepsy, right? Anyone feel impressed by that? Hopefully. But it's not rocket science. You guys are going to all do this in about 5 minutes' time. It's actually very, very simple to do. It's a very natural thing. And we'll talk a little bit about how to do that in a moment. The key thing is, notice how the first thing you have to do is overcome a set of expectations. You spend all day becoming more relaxed, and I have to undo that with the arm. That's the first reason why people fail with this, because they like it so much, like, oh, this feels so good. There's no way you're going to get my hand to go up there, right? So the first thing you've got to do you notice how I dealt with that dynamic? What did we do? I actually created a double bind, or a bind, simple bind actually, saying if you want to have more of that good feeling, then that arm's got to come tense. So it created a separation from the arm to the rest of the body, which allowed that to continue as this went the other way. Would that be fair to see that? Like when I first mentioned it, were you thinking a little bit like, I don't want to do that, it feels too nice. And you can feel that, right? So if you feel the arm, just flop your hand. If you feel the arm hand being this, notice how we did this before to jiggle in? Well, I want the opposite now. So I've given her the instruction to separate. And notice what I'm doing here. This is called the ambiguous touch, right? I'm holding the hand. And at some point, I did this once in Argentina with a Spanish guy, because I couldn't speak Spanish enough to be verbally eloquent, but all the other things were working well. And I got to the point where I was holding his hand, holding his arm out like this. He was convinced I was holding it. And I'm right here. Nobody was holding it. It's just going, yes, I was holding it. It's just funny. So the next thing I do, I'm looking for the elbow, right? Because the muscles here are going to be holding this. People think that they have to have a strong forearm. No, they've got to contract whatever muscles at the elbow. Because think about it, if you keep your own arm there, what's it called? Bicep. There you go. Biceps. Your lovely little things up here. Those are the ones that pick your arm up. It's not these ones down here, right? So people think that they want to create rigidity here. That's fine, but no one notices here because they don't do much more than open and close the hand. So you want to look, I usually tell them about the elbow so they can feel it in the bicep and maybe poke them in the bicep a little bit. Watch what happens when I do this. Do you feel that? A little bit more. There you go. That's starting now. That's good. So what I'm doing is I'm poking, and when I get some rigidity, I go, that's it. I'm encouraging it. So I'm going the opposite way. And by poking, I can feel it. I've noticed how these aren't relaxing mannerisms. This would be the opposite. Sure. So here's what I'm doing to relax the arm. These are relaxing mannerisms. Do you feel that relaxing? And this is what I'm doing to create catalepsy. A little more. There you go. It's a poke. I mean, anyone ever been poked by someone? What happens? Go off. It's a natural reaction, right? So you're just going to poke a little bit to annoy the muscles into contracting. Great. Okay, so that's one little trick. The other one is the ambiguous touch. That's a classic one. It's a classic Ericksonian thing. These aren't rocket science things, right? Are they? Rocket science? No? Yes? Maybe?
I don't understand why you're saying it's ambiguous.
It's ambiguous because she doesn't know where I'm going to go next.
Oh, I see.
Right? So right now, at first, relax the arm a second. Hand was there, and I'm supporting the I'm taking it up and saying, I'm going to hold your hand. Right? So I've got the weight. You can probably see that I've got the full weight. I can feel it. Now I'm going to start playing around, and each time I shift, it's like, you see that person over there a moment? See what happens to the hand? As the tension goes away, it tends to stay. Now, I needed a little bit of the relaxation to go before that could happen. Now, if her attention was on that, I would probably have to do more ambiguous touch to make her think that I'm holding on, but then I'm doing the thing I did with the Spanish guy. So I have no weight, but because I'm touching, it seems like, oh, he's not doing anything different from before. So her intellect isn't catching up on what I'm doing yet. And eventually, you end up doing this. You need to watch this to see what I mean. Right? So the gaps between not touching are bigger, but they still don't notice. It's kind of weird. They still think you're holding on. And eventually you can let go, and it's fine. So we have the ambiguous touch. Do you all get the idea of the ambiguous touch? We have the idea of you're giving a non-verbal instruction. You, of course, have the language stuff as well, which we'll talk about more as the week continues. These are more the little cheat sheet things you can do to get catalepsy. The final one is a beautiful thing. Just relax your arm a second. Okay. It's based on the same principle, but it's just beautiful, like this. There you go. There you go. Do you see what's happening with that elbow? That's it. Do you see how the hand's not coming down as quickly each time? So we're doing the same thing, but essentially, rather than shaking it from side to side, which is kind of a relax, let go type thing, I'm actually picking it up and giving a little shake coming up. And catalepsy, it's kind of weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Weird,
Weird.
strangely pleasant at the same time. There you go. And you have a beautiful catalepsy. Then if you want to get levitation, you can do the whole bright blue balloon, lifting the hand higher and higher and knock yourself out. Or you can be like kind of mysterious and go, something's going to happen. Anyone see the non-verbal suggestion? And you might not even know what it's going to be, but it's going to happen. Just like that. That's it. There you go. Oh. Perfect. Beautiful. Free movement returns to your arm. Give a nice round of applause. So, what are we looking on time? Guys, time? 10 minutes? Okay. So in 10 minutes' time, we'll have our lunch break. So here's what I propose we do. I'd like you guys to get a sense or an experience of getting catalepsy. And I don't want to interrupt you if you're on a roll. So you have an hour for lunch. The key thing is, I'm going to give you, let's say, 20 minutes apiece to do this. You may want to do 10 minutes one way and just play with the different poking and prodding and lifting and playing. And then you may want to go into the first 10 minutes of your lunch break. You want to come back early after lunch. We'll make sure the room gets opened a bit earlier so you can come back and do that. It's entirely up to you how you do it, how you divide your time. Find at least one partner to do this with, though, and really explore the different ways of getting catalepsy. Make sense? Does anyone have any questions on this? Go ahead.
So what about the beginning when the person was relaxed before he started? He said that disconnecting.
Disconnecting the arm from the body. Oh, very simply, is to suggest that they can have more of that relaxation in the body, the more this arm becomes stiff and rigid, or the more this arm becomes cataleptic, because now you know what that means, or the more this arm, or the more the muscles in this arm contract. So getting this response here allows you to have more of this response here, which is basically what they want. Does that make sense, everyone?